Hello students, this is Kanupriya, PGD Geography, and this is my next video on chapter 7, which is tertiary and quaternary activities. Dear students, this is my fourth and last video on this particular chapter, that is chapter 7. In my previous video, we had studied about tourism. We had discussed that how tourism has emerged as one of the most important tertiary activities in the world. How tourism has generated employment opportunities and moreover helped in increasing the GDP of the country. Then we had discussed about various tourist regions, factors affecting tourism activity, and then we had discussed the tourist attractions. After that, we had studied a very important term, which is medical tourism. How India has emerged one of the most important country in promoting medical tourism. So this is all that we had discussed in the last video. Today we'll discuss the rest of the topics of this chapter. So let's discuss them one by one. Now comes another set of activities, which are quaternary activities and quinernary activities. So let's start with it. Let's discuss them one by one. Here it has been written, what do a CEO of an MNC in Copenhagen at New York and a medical transcriptionist at Bangalore have in common? So if we look at a CEO of an MNC and a medical transcriptionist, that is a person who is engaged in medical activity, if we look at them, what does they have in common? We have concluded that all these people who are engaged in this type of service sector are knowledge oriented. They are engaged in those activities which involves knowledge. So this sector which involves knowledge, in which people are knowledgeable, they can be divided into quaternary and quinernary sector or quaternary and quinernary activities. That means these are those activities which involves people with high knowledge. It involves those people who are technically sound, which are or who are skilled. So let's discuss them one by one, quaternary activities and quinernary activities. Quaternary activities involve some of the following: the collection, production and dissemination of information, or even the production of information. That means these are those activities in which people collect the information, they produce new information, and moreover they distribute information. Quaternary activities involves research and development, and because of which new information is generated, and it can be seen as the advanced form of services. Although quaternary and quinernary activities are a part of service sector, they are providing services, but quaternary activities and quinernary activities are the advanced form of services which involves specialized knowledge and technical skills. I hope this is clear. I again repeat that quaternary activities involve research and development, which helps in the production, collection and distribution of information among the people. These are the advanced form of services in which those people are involved who have specialized knowledge and those who are technically sound. So these are quaternary activities. The quaternary sector, along with the tertiary sector, has replaced most of the primary and secondary employment as the basis for economic development. As we had already discussed that nowadays people are moving from primary and secondary sector to tertiary sector. And here it has been written that quaternary sector and tertiary sector, they both are replacing the primary and secondary employment, because these two sectors, that is quaternary and tertiary sectors, they are very important for the economic growth of any country. So it involves more people, more knowledgeable people, more technically sound people and more skilled people, and because of which employment is increasing day by day in these particular sectors. It has been found that over half of all workers in developed economies are in the knowledge sector, and there has been a very high growth in demand for and consumption of information based services, either from mutual fund manager to tax consultants, software developers and statisticians. What it means that in developed economies or in developed countries, more than half of all workers are engaged in the knowledge sector, and day by day the demand of this particular sector is increasing because people want new information based services, either it is mutual fund manager or tax consultants or software developers or statisticians. So this is quaternary sector, which is highly knowledgeable sector, which involves people with skills, specialized skills, personnel working in office buildings, elementary schools, university classrooms, hospitals, doctors' offices, theatres, accounting, brokerage firms, all belong to this category of services. These are the people who are highly knowledgeable. They are technically sound, they have specialized knowledge, they have specialized skills. So these are the people who belong to quaternary sector. Nowadays, a phenomena or a process is very common, that is outsourcing. We have seen number of call centers in different countries, and these call centers work according to the company may be residing in some other countries. For example, we have seen number of call centers in India, and these are the call centers which are supported by a European company. So basically that process is called as outsourcing, which provides employment to any person living in any part of the world. So nowadays, quaternary sector or quaternary activities can also be outsourced. They are not tied to resources. They are not dependent upon resources. They are not affected by the environment, and they are not necessarily localized by market. So this is quaternary sector. We'll discuss outsourcing later in detail. Now comes another set of activities known as quaternary activities. Quaternary activities are those activities in which highest level of decision making and policy making is involved. It involves people who are very much specialized in decision making and policy making. However, it is different from the knowledge based industries that it deals with. It is little bit different from knowledge based industries. They are involved in decision making and policy making. Quaternary activities are the services that focus on the creation, rearrangement and interpretation of new and existing ideas. Quaternary activities also involves data interpretation and the use and evaluation of new technologies. Since we had studied earlier that quaternary activities are those activities in which the highest level of decision making is done. So it focuses on the creation, that means it creates new information. It also rearrange the existing ideas, the existing information, and moreover it also involves data interpretation, and it also evaluates the new technologies. That means it also takes the decisions related to the new technology developed through research and development. Often referred to as gold collar workers or gold collar professions, the people who are engaged in quaternary activities are known as gold collar workers. They represent another subdivision of tertiary sector, but they involves highly skilled paid professionals. For example, business executives, government officials, research scientists, financial and legal consultants, etc. So this is quinary activities, which involves highest level of decision making and policy making. It helps in the development, it helps in the creation, it helps in the rearrangement of new and existing ideas. It also helps to interpret the data. Moreover, it also helps or it also involves use and evaluation of new technologies. It involves the highly skilled, highly knowledgeable, highly paid professionals which are involved in taking decisions. Now comes outsourcing, which we had discussed earlier. Outsourcing has resulted in the opening up of a large number of call centers in India, China, Eastern Europe, Israel, Philippines, Costa Rica, etc. Outsourcing has created new jobs in these countries. Outsourcing is coming to those countries where cheap and skilled workers are available. These are also out-migrating countries. With the work available through outsourcing, the migration in these countries may come down. Outsourcing countries are facing resistance from job-seeking youths in their respective countries. But the comparative advantage between the two is the main reason for continuing outsourcing. Now, what is outsourcing? Outsourcing is basically the process or the phenomena in which a company or a MNC hires cheap and skilled labor in other countries so that the work can be done. As we have seen in India, there are a number of call centers who derives their pay from some companies which are European companies or which are Australian companies, which are American companies. So different people are involved in those call centers, and because of which they can earn money. It is very important for the developing nations, and outsourcing is coming to those countries where cheap and skilled workers are available. They are creating job opportunities for those people because those countries are not able to provide employment to its youth. So call centers or different types of outsourcing activities can provide employment to those people. And this is very common in those countries where people are migrating from their countries to other countries. So with the work available through outsourcing, the migration in these countries have come down. But it is often, facing resistance from job-seeking youths in the respective countries. But if we see the advantage of outsourcing, so it is very important to have outsourcing in different countries because it provides employment to their youth. New trends in culinary services include KPO, that is knowledge processing outsourcing, and home shoring. The latter as an alternative to outsourcing. The KPO industry is distinct from business process outsourcing as it involves highly skilled workers. It is information driven knowledge outsourcing. KPO enables companies to create additional business opportunities. For example, it involves research and development activities, e-learning, that is electronic learning, business research, intellectual property research, legal profession, banking sector. As we have seen, through internet, we can learn anything. There are a number of e-teachers or e-teaching and e-learning is available on the internet. It is because of KPO, that is knowledge process outsourcing, with which we can take the information of any person residing in any part of the world. That is knowledge processing outsourcing. And one is BPO, that is business process outsourcing, where business can be done. Right? So this is outsourcing. Now comes a very important term, that is the digital divide, which comes in your board exams. So let's discuss it. What is digital divide? We know there are a number of opportunities which are emerging from information and communication technology, that is ICT. But this ICT based development is unevenly distributed over the globe. We have certain countries, some countries which are far ahead in terms of ICT development, but there are some countries which are far behind in terms of ICT. There are wide-ranging economic, political, social differences among countries. How quickly countries can provide ICT access and benefits to its citizens is the deciding factor. We know developed countries in general have surged forward in terms of ICT access to its people, while the developing countries have lagged behind, and this is known as the digital divide. I hope you have understood. I again repeat, what is digital divide? It is basically the difference between different countries in terms of accessibility to ICT, that is information and communication technology. We know there is wide disparities among the countries. So some countries are far ahead in providing ICT access to its citizens, while there are some countries which are not able to make accessibility of ICT to its people. So that is known as digital divide. Similarly, digital divides exist within countries. For example, in a large country like India or Russia, it is inevitable that certain areas like metropolitan centers possess better connectivity and access to the digital world versus peripheral rural areas. What it means that digital divide not only exists between the countries but also within the countries. If we'll take the example of India, we have number of states as well as cities. So some cities and some states are far ahead in terms of ICT accessibility, that is access to ICT. But there are certain states and certain cities which are far behind in terms of ICT accessibility. So the gap between the two, the gap between the cities, the gap between the states in terms of accessibility to ICT to its citizens, so that is known as the digital divide. I hope this is clear to you and the topics that we have covered today are understood. If you have any doubt, please come up with your doubts. Thank you so much.